I'm Chris Williams from Cyclone Fanatic and a proud Iowa State graduate from the class of 2007. No one shows up like Iowa State fans. And Cyclones support Cyclones on and off the field. Your gift can provide scholarships to students, fund groundbreaking research. We can even drum up opportunities for the marching band. Visit MoveWhatMatters.com to learn how you can make an impact today.
You are listening to Let Him Cook. I'm Dylan Coon, as always, joined by Nigel Dyson. Big 12 conference play officially underway. Iowa State picking up a 26-point win against West Virginia, and then a bunch of games on Saturday. We're going to recap West Virginia, talk a little bit about the Big 12 slate, and preview the first conference road game at Baylor. But Nigel, the line was 18.5 at the end of the it started at like 16, got to 18.5. I felt like that was high. I didn't think Iowa State was going to blow out West Virginia the way they did.
Yeah, no, I saw when I checked it, I think it was like 17.5. But I mean, I was a little hesitant on that myself. So I was glad they were able to prove Vegas right. Overall, just a really solid win. Like, I was very pleased with us on offense. The production all around was ideal, even with like guys like Toure having a goose egg. You still have a lot of guys have like a once in a season type performance. Milan shot 80% from three. Joshua Jefferson with a triple-double, like in the same game, is crazy. A part of me almost wishes you save a game like that for March, because that's when that's like gonna be a guaranteed win.
Yeah.
But definitely, like, it's just good to see, guys clicking on all cylinders, especially after like we talked about last episode, like being in those games where the result matters. You need to win, obviously, but it's just hard to kind of get amped up and ready to go. So I was glad that even with West Virginia not being the best team we're going to see in the Big 12 this year, like, we were still able to just kind of assert our dominance to start off the year and go 1-0 and start off conference play pretty strong.
I got to be there. I was filming that game for KCCI. We had a full slate.
I saw that you got in Joshua Jefferson's way. He was like, no, it was Milan. Milan was trying to like walk, and I just saw you like squirm off the way. It was
at
funny.
The end of the game? Yeah, I did. Yeah. I didn't know he was like, I turned around because I heard footsteps behind me. I had no idea he was that close to me. And I was like, oh, I like about hit him with the camera probably. So sorry to Milan. But it was a lot of fun being at that game. That was a good, like, I think it was maybe 18-14 early in the first half there. And I wouldn't say the crowd was like, it wasn't tense, but they did that thing where it's like everybody started to stand up and clap and be like, okay, wake up. Like, we're not going to let a close game to West Virginia. And then that guy right there, Jamarian Bateman, hit two super big threes kind of halfway through that first half. And I felt like that really opened up the rest of the game. And Bateman probably had his best game of his freshman season so far, I think.
Yeah, no, he was huge. And it's good, like you said, to have sparks off the bench. Like, I know you brought up Tyrus McGee a few episodes ago. To have guys who can come in and be immediate offense off of a starting five that's already so solid offensively is a threat that we don't always have. We haven't always had that, and it's where our weakness has usually been, is the depth aspect of our teams. But it's just really refreshing to see a guy like that who hasn't always seen the ball go in this season, finally just stay confident, keep shooting, and, be able to hit big shots for us. Because, between him and Milan, you make 10 threes. Like, I'll take it,
right.
And that's ideal. It's 30 points that don't have to take a lot of effort from the entirety of the offense. So hopefully we can keep shooting at a high clip. I know it's not going to be easy to do, especially on the road and specific environments, but it's just good to see that, we're not too predictable as we've been offensively in years past, and obviously that we can just kind of hurt you from different angles this year. So overall, just really good performance from Bateman. Hope to see him continue to grow, obviously, throughout the season. I also want to, now that we're on the topic of Bateman, I saw somewhere that, like, he's like a geek. He's like a nerd.
Super smart. Like, crazy smart.
His favorite class was pre-calculus.
Yeah.
What the hell is wrong with him?
Nobody has ever said that until he said that that day.
Like,
Yeah,
I don't
Mark
even know
Lee,
if guys
an
at like Harvard
actuary.
say that.
Yeah, he's built different.
Okay.
Yeah, he went like a
Milwaukee
super.
Institute of Science.
Yeah, and then he's
I didn't
just
know he was
putting
like
up
that.
48 points after he gets done with the hardest classes you can take as a high school senior in the state of Wisconsin.
Do you think
Crazy.
someone that's smart can kind of see through like defenders? Like it's almost like limitless out there. Like you're using more than 10% of your brain.
He's just operating on a different level. He's seeing like
I don't
things in
know.
4 dimensions.
That's what I'm
Maybe.
saying.
I'm
Like
not smart enough to know.
neither am I. I
Yeah.
guess we'll have to have him on the pod sometime and ask him straight up.
But yeah, he's a stud, and he really was getting into some of their best offensive players on the defensive side too. He's obviously not where Toure is on the perimeter, but you can tell he has that DNA of he wants to be out there and defend too. Like he's not someone that's going to shy away on that end, and that's huge because like having a true 3-and-D guy off the bench. I mean, that's an NBA kind of recipe. Like that's the guys you want coming off the bench is guys that can do really good things on both sides of the court, even if you're only playing 15, 20 minutes a game. Like those are huge minutes, especially when, yeah, like those 3-point shots, that means Taman Lipsey's not driving into the lane and crashing into 3 different guys. Like it
Yeah.
just opens up everything, makes the workload lighter on some of the starters and the guys that have been around the block. So only good things can happen from like Bateman
Yeah.
having good shooting nights and getting more playing time.
Well, and if you like look at like you said, 15 minutes, 9 points, 3 of 3 from 3, like that is ideal because it's such efficient time.
Yeah.
Like a plus minus is very high when that's the only minutes you were allotted and you had 9 points in that time allotted. I think it tends to, if that can stay consistent, it's going to give a lot of coaches headaches to where they are over preparing for a guy like Bateman who hasn't even probably stepped into his full shell or come out of his shell, I should say, as only a freshman. But and then it's like, okay, now we just left Milan open. God help me. So it's
Right.
it's just going to cause natural chaos, which I think for years we were not able to have. A lot of the offense we had in the past, you kind of saw coming. And it's just good to see variety and depth because it really is making a difference of like what kind of basketball team we can be going forward.
He had another really good play where it was after he hit his first 2 threes, and he could have it was in transition, could have pulled up for kind of a heat check 3, drove to the basket, nice little bounce pass to Heisey for like a wide open layup. Like that's like a freshman kind of feeling himself in the first game. Like really, like the crowd popped so loud for his first 2 threes. And to have kind of the mental wherewithal of maybe, I mean, that 4.0 GPA maybe coming into play there of being like the right play is driving to the basket and kicking it to the open guy. Like that was one of the more impressive plays because it's like any other 18-year-old after having like, you start 2 for 2, crowds behind you, you're going to chuck that and just like hope for the best. But he made the right play.
I'm 24 and I'm jacking that right now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just who I am.
No shame in that.
No.
But like you said, Milan, and I did the roll in for little behind baseball here, but we like put together all of kind of the plays in a melt, so to speak, at KCCI, and then at the end of the year, you can just type somebody's name in and you see all their highlights show up. So I did that for the West Virginia game, and it amazed me how many of Milan's threes came off a Joshua Jefferson assist. And even I think even the 2 that he missed might have been from Joshua Jefferson passes. So like their 2-man game that they have going on right now, like there's a reason Joshua Jefferson had 10 assists, and it was, I would say, at least 5 of those threes came from Jefferson, and like they were tough passes. It was like cross court, like not no look, but just like it wasn't a simple rotation. It was like Josh knew he was open and then just chucked it 20 feet across the court for a wide open. West Virginia's defense letting Milan get as many open threes as he did was also kind of crazy. That has to be the number one guy. I looked it up today. He's shooting 56% from 3. That would tie the all-time best 3-point shooting percentage in a college basketball season for more than 2.5 attempts a game. He has 7 attempts a game. He's making 4.5 threes per, like, it is insane what he is doing right now on the basketball court. He's having the best 3-point shooting season of all time in college basketball history.
Yeah, no, and it's crazy because it's like it also is context of like what generation of college basketball we're in. Like there is a lot of idiosyncrasies that like people are trying to bring from the NBA into the college game because it's like why prepare you for something like if most people want to go to the NBA, even a guy like Milan wants to go to the NBA, have a successful career. Like to see that and to obviously be able to kind of I don't know, kind of find like your own flow and rhythm, especially with a coach like TJ, who's naturally a more conservative, kind of coach and offensively. For him to have full belief and give him the full blown green light to get off 7 attempts, and he even said that at the beginning of the year, like it's really cool to see, how that confidence is kind of contagious for the rest of the team for a guy like Bateman, but also like pouring out of him, like it really is like I can just tell by like the way he carries himself this season. He's in a different type of zone right now, and it really is impressive.
I think it was after the Houston Christian game that I don't remember if it was Milan or if it was Coach Otzelberger that said in the offseason was working with kind of like a sports, maybe like psychologist or like a kind of like just a mental sports expert kind of advisor. And every time he shoots a three, he says jelly bean in his head. So that's all I can think of now is every time he shoots it, just Milan in his own head saying jelly bean, and it's working. I don't know, like that's a crazy. It's obviously not due to that. It's due to all the practice that he's been doing. But that's all I can think now when he shoots a three is him saying jelly bean in his head.
I'm so curious to find out like what does that do to him psychologically? Like
I wonder if
is
it's
it
almost
like
like a positive affirmation, like you just associate the word jelly bean with like making a 3-point shot and like the motion. I have no idea. That's my guess. It's
interesting?
just like a repetition kind of a thing.
I feel like it's something that's like so innocent and like no big deal
Right.
that it's almost like
It takes
shooting
you
a
out of the
three is
moment.
easy as a jelly bean. Like you don't put as much pressure on the actual shot. But that's awesome. I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah. So that was a fun little press conference tidbit. So Milan's shooting the jelly bean, and that thing is working for him. 8 for
That
10.
that thing is green.
It's a green jelly bean. And he was. And then the other thing about him too is like halfway through the second half, he like just came back to the bench. Just no like he was locked in against West Virginia.
Flow
Like he was
state.
not caught up in like the hype of it. Even Joshua Jefferson smiled against West Virginia. He got an and one. That he never shows any emotion on the court. So that's when you kind of know like we're gonna be okay. If Joshua Jefferson is smiling on the court, we're probably in a good place.
Yeah, no, and he plays such a big role into guys like Milan's success. Like you said, you talked about his passing. So many of them are like those elbow skip passes,
Yeah.
and it's so LeBron-esque, like where
Yeah.
it's like no one can pull that off but him.
Right.
And then you got a guy, same stature, same weight, same not same number, but same build at the end of the day, who can hurt you from 3 levels of scoring, doing the same thing at the college level. Like that's so impressive, and I can't believe we're sitting here as Iowa State fans, like talking about a guy like that's on that guy's on our team. Like you think about teams in the past, we never had a guy who could do all of that. So to have someone so well rounded, someone who was on the verge of leaving in the offseason, stick around and now have a National Player of the Year contender season is truly special. And I'm just really glad he was able to showcase such a good night. 10, 10, 10. It's not the flashiest, sexiest triple double, but it's triple double.
Right.
I'll take it.
It does look good. I got a clean shot of it on the scoreboard. And just aesthetically, it's pleasing to look at, just everything being even. But it is kind of a Draymond Green sort of a triple-double. It's like just really solid at all three things, but didn't really stand out. He had a pretty quiet offensive night outside of how good he was passing the ball. He's averaging 17 points a game. So he was well under his average. But like you said, still so he kind of had – I wouldn't say an off night because he's like the 5th Cyclone to have a triple-double. But for him to only score 10 points, Killian Toure to score 0, 2 of your starters combined for 10 points, and you won by 26. That's just really impressive. And part of that's Bateman coming off the bench, and of course Milan going nuts from 3. But like you said, just like having different options every night and you don't know who is going to have their night, that is such a advantage. It's so hard to scout this Iowa State team because you don't know who to point the focus on.
Yeah, and a big thing with the depth that like naturally comes is when you do have a lot of like I guess options that can score the ball. You tend to look like the 2014 Spurs, where there are passes happening that
So fast.
you're just like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
It makes you fall in love with the game again. I feel like a seventh grader all over again, and it's unreal. There was a few possessions against West Virginia where so much chaos was happening. Guys like Heisey were getting back doors for dunks. Guys like Milan were getting wide open threes. And again, I don't even think it's like West Virginia's defense was bad. It's just our ball movement was that good. We were that fine-tuned offensively to where you didn't really have to, you couldn't, if you're West Virginia, you can't sit here and worry about one guy when the ball's moving and anybody can score. Like, and to think about it, in an offense where the ball is constantly moving and it's not dominated by one guy, a guy like Joshua Jefferson can have a triple double, and a guy like Milan can still have 8 threes. Like you would think he'd be the guy hitting a lot of one mores, but they're moving the ball so well, they're getting the best shooter open still. Like that's the most impressive part about the offense this year. And again, it's just very, very I should say like just overall impressive just to be quite frankly honest, just I don't even know. Like it's sometimes unexplainable, but it just I've never seen in my days as an Iowa State fan the offense this cohesively like together and just clicking on all cylinders. It's awesome.
This feels like a far-fetched dream from like the first couple years TJ was a coach, where it was just like we're playing in the 40s, like 4 times a month. It was just like such a brutal like grind out every single game, and the weapons we have now would just blow those teams out of the water. Like we might have one guy like that, like a Brockington. It feels like we have 6. Like I mean, it can literally be anybody on this team can give you 50 points really quick. And another, when you're talking about like who else besides Joshua Jefferson, that behind the back pass to Buchanan that led to a dunk, nobody's doing that. No one, you will not find that anywhere else in college basketball. And Jake got a perfect shot of it.
I don't know if like TJ might kill anybody else who does that. Like you may not play the rest of the game.
That better work. Yeah.
I swear to God, if we start seeing just like crazy, like Sabonis' dad, he used to play for the Blazers.
Abidris,
just crazy behind, like catch it with one hand, throw it behind his head. If we start seeing that, man, I'm talking crazy online. If the Cyclones start playing street ball, it's over with.
Good night.
Don't let Joshua Jefferson turn into Escalade. It's gonna be a problem.
Nigel, I don't know if you've seen the Jamal Tinsley dribbling the ball out at the end of a game, but I don't even remember. They might have been playing Colorado back like old Big 12 days before they rejoined. But I mean, they're literally trying to foul him. Like it's a close game and they need to foul, and he is just like dribbling circles around it's just like insane to watch. Just like nobody could catch him, and he was just like toying with them. That's the closest thing I've seen. And then, I'm blanking on his name, and people are going to be mad at me. Rashawn Clark, he could dunk the hell out, and Deontay Burton could too. But we've had some dunkers in my lifetime. Those are like kind of the 3 guys that it was like they're moving different. Halliburton had some of that too, and he still does, of just like the crazy passes. We've actually had some solid. They could end up on the and one circuit. I could see Halliburton back in the day on the and one show.
Yeah, no, it's I definitely I envy you at times because you know a bit more history than me, but it's just really cool. It's very telling, like you kind of brought up earlier, like how we're still able to tell that we're night and day from where we were a few years ago. Yeah. It only took a few years to get this good. Like I could only hope once Iowa State starts becoming a lot of people's dream school, like what type of talent you can really get in the door. But again, it starts with people who just come like TJ always says, comes with with the same daily habits and always wants to do the little things correctly so that the big things aren't as hard. And you can see it in moments like this where just a lot of the off season is just a lot of consistency in everything they do. And now you're starting to see it in their play too. So it's really cool to see. And I feel very confident going into what we have talked about already as a top heavy Big 12 going forward.
The other thing I want to mention that's like, this is just another thing that's awesome about Hilton is like Jefferson, I think, had 7 points. I think the first thing he got was rebounds. So like 7 points, 10 rebounds, and maybe 9 assists. And like everybody in the arena was like, they knew what was going on. And then anytime Jefferson got the ball, you could kind of hear the excitement or like people starting to like, is this going to be the possession? He shot a 3 when he was at 7 points and it just barely rimmed out. And he went like 1 for 1 from the free throw line. I was like, dude, if he finishes like 9 points, 10 rebounds, 9 assists, and like I know he was thinking that too. It's like you're so close to a triple double, even though it is 10, 10, and 10. But like the whole arena, and obviously we're not hearing the commentating, but like everybody knew what was going on. And it was just like it was a game within a game of people being like, is this going to be the assist? Is this going to be the rebound? Is this going to be the points that gets him over the edge? I just like I hear commentators talk about like how smart Hilton Coliseum is. And then like the idiots are like, well, you just boo everything. Everybody boos everything. Like
Yeah.
I have to stop myself from booing when I'm working. Like I just have to like mental block myself of like, Dylan, you're not a fan right now. But like the kind of just the little things that like I feel like Iowa State fans pick up on. That's kind of the Hilton magic that I also love. Like we know when to get up and start to like motivate the team of like, hey, you're messing around right now, quit it. And I like there's not many places in the country that are like that. That's the other thing that like no matter who the coach is, no matter who the players are, Hilton Coliseum is always like such a consistent home arena for us. I just like
Yeah.
that was kind of the first game I got to be in this season of like this rocks. Like this is my favorite place to be.
Yeah, because probably Iowa was like a bit more of a nervous energy the whole game because it was just closer. So it was the first like ass whooping that we hung out. We just gave out to a solid program. And I think that's like where everyone felt that energy again. Because again, like when we beat Iowa a few years ago, you know, they had Keegan Murray, they had other good guys on the team that made the win that much better.
Yeah.
And I think that plays into it to a degree. But I know you talked about crowd pops, how crazy in person, because obviously you hear it on TV, but it's not the same. Like how crazy was the crowd pop when he like solidified the triple double? Like was Hilton very aware, and then how loud was it in there once it happened?
I mean, we were up by 20. I don't know how much at the time, but it was
Right.
more of like a respect. It was like the like kind of like a curtain call almost because like as soon as that happened, TJ took him out of the game. He got a standing ovation. But I seriously, the loudest pops were the Jamarian Bateman threes because it's like we needed them so bad. And especially that second one because it was just like, I don't remember if that was to take the lead or not, but that was kind of the moment of like, we'll turn the page and just beat the hell out of this team. So those were the ones where I was like, this place is going nuts. But man, that seriously, I was like kind of joking. I was like, I'm in my favorite building on earth. That is like my favorite. There's nothing better than like a Hilton Big 12 basketball game. That it just rocks.
Yeah, no, the way you're talking about it makes me want to go back.
No, we got to get you to a game.
We do. I would love to be able to get back there. We got a short amount of time. But hopefully, I also do want to go to the Final Four, and I hope we're there.
Yeah,
in
Indianapolis, right?
Easiest drive of my life. Oh my God.
And the Midwest Regionals in Chicago, isn't it?
Is it?
I think so.
Wow, that'll be huge.
Yeah,
I'm
coming to Chicago. Whether it's for work or whether it's on my own dime, I will. If we're playing an Elite 8 or Sweet 16 game in Chicago, I will be there.
Yeah, that would honestly be probably more feasible, but I would love to just cross it on my bucket list before I have kids. So I mean, don't have to
that's
pay for 4 tickets.
As an Iowa State fan, like a Final Four trip is once in a lifetime kind of.
We haven't seen this since Pearl Harbor. Like it's
literally
that would be real.
Yeah, the 1940s. That was a minute ago. So to get back there would be insane. And we were kind of talking about like the 1 seed. I kind of think, barring anything crazy, it feels like it's Michigan, Arizona, Iowa State, UConn, Duke, maybe Purdue can get back in the picture if they really do some stuff in the Big Ten. But that
Yeah,
kind of
if we're their only bad loss, like they're not as bad as I thought. I thought they were like
right.
phony after playing us. So
Yeah.
if they can
But
continue to
then,
just play solid basketball, they're right back up in the conversation.
right. I would agree. And like I've already seen they came out with the AP Top 25 ballot today. UConn has a loss, don't they? Who did they? I don't remember who they lost to though.
Um,
Jackson, if
UConn does
you
have a loss.
Arizona at home, sure.
Ah,
So, but I've seen people start to put UConn ahead of Iowa State, and I'm like, hold on, we're undefeated. What?
it's recency bias.
But it's like, what more can we do? We beat Purdue by 23 at their place. Like, what do you want? Like, sorry, we only beat St. John's by 1, but goddamn.
Yeah, no, and again, it's like it's good to be not the best team
Yeah,
in this company of good teams, because then you start getting just I feel like there's a complex that a lot of people have when it comes to Iowa State. Like, we're a respectable team.
but we're
Doesn't
not.
mean we need, like, we're not the Kim Kardashian of
Yeah,
basketball programs in America, like that. We're not the tier S, like,
right,
in people's eyes when it comes to like clout, hype, having dudes every year. So like there's just going to be a lot of people who, even when you are good, even in your best year, you're going to be underestimated. It seems like this team won't be really fazed by it. If anything, I would love to still be really good and still be considered an underdog.
right.
Like, because that's when we play our best basketball, is when we are underdogs.
Yeah,
Times when we've been like the say all be all best team, better team, I guess, in the matchup, we tend to not play up to our standard. So I don't know. It's a weird psychology for us that I've just picked up on. So hopefully, I would love to just keep bouncing back from 2 and 3 their whole
yeah.
year. Just be good enough to get a 1 seed, but not too good where everyone's like, all right, you're the undisputed number 1
You're
overall
the team
seed.
to beat. Yeah.
Yeah, like
No, I
everyone
agree.
wants to beat you. Even the other 1 seeds want to beat you.
Right.
Like, Jesus Christ, that is,
Yeah.
talk about pressure. My
Yeah.
God, I don't want that at all. If I'm Iowa State, I know it's going to happen, and a lot of other teams will embrace it because they've been to the top of the mountain before. But to a team that hasn't, I think we need kind of like a Florida year where we're a great team, but we're not the best team
We're
all
not the
year.
team. Yeah.
Yeah. And that tends to be the team that wins it all. Like, I don't know why, but in recent years, outside of like UConn's dominant years, like, it has been like the third best 1 seed wins it
Right.
all. It's never like the number 1 overall seed, goes in and just has their way with every team. Because like, Vegas would make zero money, if we're being perfectly honest.
Yep.
Because that would be the easiest free money of my lifetime. And then also, like, that is what the tournament has become, is just like an emphasis on parity. So the more that the number 1 overall team loses and can then the next year have a Virginia year where you lose to a no name mid major to then go to win a national championship, that's the storyline that they love to sell.
Right.
So it's odd, but I definitely don't want to be the number 1 overall seed going into March. So I'll love to just kind of bounce back and forth from the 2 and 3. But again, it's gonna be hard, playing the top teams in the Big 12, because they're not bad losses, but those can really shake your seeding if they happen at the wrong time.
Yep. Speaking of just kind of the Big 12 slate overall, the one game that really stood out to me on Saturday was Kansas UCF. Darren Peterson has 23 points in the first half, and you're like, okay, like now Kansas is going to turn it on. Like they kind of had a shaky non-con, and now here comes Bill Self, and they're going to figure it out because they have prime John Wall playing point guard again. Like, but then he basically takes himself out of the game, scored 3 points in the second half, sits for I think the last 15 minutes, and UCF beats Kansas for the second time in 3 years. And it's just like,
Yeah.
what the hell is going on? Like, it's such a bizarre, it's like, are you hurt or are you not? Because you looked fantastic in the first half of that game and then just kind of pull the plug. It's just confusing. I just have no idea what is going on, and it makes zero sense to me.
I think I know what's going on, and I think it's probably just Bill Self not wanting to sabotage his own reputation in the NIL era, where
Yeah,
you're paying somebody to come here. They're an undisputed top 3 pick in next year's draft, or this year's draft, I should say. And the reality of the situation is, if we can get you to play a half and you have a game like that, scouts are going to see your bag. Like, they have all the tape they need if this continues to happen where he's on a minute restriction, which we have not seen at the college basketball level yet. Like, he's still going to get what he wants, and Bill Self will be able to say, I got another guy to the NBA. But it's the one way to essentially, like, avoid a D Rose situation happening where if you get too late into the season and God forbid, say the kid tears his entire hamstring, like,
Right.
not only are you out for the tournament and can't win a national championship or can't compete for one, but you're also not ready to work out for teams come May and June. So I think it's more strategic. I think, to a degree, like, I think a Darren Peterson-less Kansas team is not a bad team. It's not the best Kansas team we've seen in a minute because they're used to running the damn party. But again, like, I think Self knows that, all right, even without him, like, we still have enough to work with and be competitive. And again, I just think when you're Bill Self, you won a chip 3 years ago, like, getting the mountaintop isn't as exciting, especially in this era. He's probably just like, I'm glad kids are making money. He's so like Bill Self just walks around like nothing bothers him. Like, I could be like, nah, and he'd just be like, all right, and just keep going. Like, he's like the Matthew McConaughey of, like, basketball coaches. Like, he does not seem fazed by anything. Even when they have, like, the worst loss of all time, he's like, well, I mean, we played like shit. I don't know what to tell you. And it's like, dude, wait, get angry. And I don't know. It's just he's a fascinating guy. But I think it's more strategic of just like, it's a minute restriction in college basketball. And we've never seen that before. And again, if I'm an NBA scout, I'm still looking at that first half and be like, not bad.
Right.
That's a lottery pick. So I think there's a method to his madness. I don't know if, I don't know if they're throwing in the towel, but I think they're probably having honest conversations, not only with Peterson, but also with the team. Like, hey, he's going to be a minute restriction. Like, we can't just rely on an 18-year-old to carry us to the finish line. Like, you guys need to do your own too. So I don't know. I don't know how that's going to look for them long term. All I know is when we see them, we better pop them right in the mouth. So sounds like an easy win against Kansas here.
Yeah, and we're gonna find out. Fog Allen is not too far in the future, but yeah, like you said,
and we're due.
Points,
we're due for a win in Fog, so I'll take it.
It's been almost 10 years since we've won in that building, and that is a notoriously hard place to win in, especially now that we don't play there every year like we used to. But yeah, I mean, this feels like. I mean, we worked them last year at Hilton. That might have been one of the best games Iowa State played all of last year. Obviously, a lot of new guys and new faces on this team. But
honestly, now I think about it, Kansas is doing that on purpose. They're no. They're losing to teams like UCF so that they're fully equipped to play him for if not all the game, the entire game, like most of the game, against a Houston, Arizona, Iowa State, so that probably his high load minutes are going to be against the best teams in the conference. And then the film he has against UCF in the first half is 23 points. If you get tough buckets against a great team, that's still going to be impressive for, like, your draft stock. So there might be he's also sneaky. He might have another trick up his sleeve where he's saving him for the more important games where they do play those top heavy teams. But yeah, that's an interesting situation. I'm going to keep following that on my own.
I had to bite my tongue when you were saying Bill Self just happy that the guys are getting paid now. They've always been getting paid in Lawrence. That's not a new development. That guy has been working the system.
They're getting paid and they ain't got to lie about it now. It's all in the open.
Before the system existed, Bill Self created the system.
He's like, you want money? I am money. Here.
He's like, oh, Andrew Wiggins, Joel Embiid, you wanna live in Lawrence, Kansas for 1 year? Here's a McDonald's bag of cash. Come on over, and brand new Adidas shoes as long as you live. Freaking Kansas.
You wouldn't do it too? I'd do it. If you guys met 17-year-old Nigel would have done that in a heartbeat. I would have been on every sports documentary possible. Like, these kids are twice as strong as me because they kept quiet about it. I would have gotten my group chat and be like, dog, look, Bill Self just gave me a bag full of money. This is crazy. I can't even breathe. Like, I'd probably choke on, like, just oxygen or something. That would be that would be a peak moment of your life, and you're only 17. You mean it's supposed to get better than this? Come on.
Nigel would have brought down a college basketball empire because of a late night group chat text.
Yeah. Here's a 20.
Bands.
Get out of my face.
I mean, honestly, it would have depended on, like, if I got to play for Hoiberg or Otts and just growing up as an Iowa State fan. But like, once you start getting offers from the Kansas and the Dukes and the North Carolinas, as we've seen, just kids from Iowa, it's usually pretty enticing. It's usually a pretty good deal that they're getting handed.
Yeah. No, and I mean, hey, if anybody who is worth a damn in Iowa, who we can keep around and has like a Taman-esque career, I'll take in a heartbeat. But I'm not going to be surprised I don't know. In this era, do you get rid of does Harrison Barnes go to Iowa State? If they really can pay you?
Well, I mean, as good as we are, we're way better than what we were when he was a senior in high school. But like, what he really wanted was money, I still don't think he comes here. Like, there's just going to be other places where you're more marketable. Like you said, like Iowa State, I think it's like a sneaky good. I think like Hilton Coliseum helps us a lot. We're always like one of the best home venues. But in terms of like blue bloods, Iowa State isn't in that conversation. So like, if you really want to market yourself and you want to get the Nike or the Gatorade or like those level of eyeballs on you, it's a different game at certain programs.
And it's funny because that Harrison Barnes in high school now, 16 years ago. If I could go back in time, I'd be like, dog, I'm from the future. You never got a shoe deal.
Yeah,
go to Iowa State.
you
North
made
Carolina.
A killing. You had a great NBA career, but you're not that guy. Like,
I got bad. Austin Rivers gamed your ass, so you might want to rethink your college decision. Also, I would have told Doug McDermott the same thing. Like, yeah, you're the best player in Creighton, but the next year you won't play because Tom Thibodeau doesn't like rookies. So, like, come to Iowa State. Like, just have 4 years where you can be Milan Momcilovic before Milan Momcilovic. Man, what could have been? Someone give me a time machine. I need that to happen.
That Ames high school basketball team was off the chain. Like, Taman Lipsey's senior year at Ames, that team was ridiculous and beating everybody by a million. But then imagine like 2 15-year pros, and I think 4 guys on that team went D1 in 4A Iowa high school basketball. That just straight up does not happen. That team was nasty. That's the best team in Iowa high school. The only one that got close was Waukee with DeVries.
COVID Waukee is crazy. You read back that roster now, dog. Yeah. Tucker DeVries was the point guard.
Jackson,
Jesus Christ.
Harrison Barnes was the truth when he was a senior. Like, people were calling him the next LeBron. He was like ungodly good at basketball, especially like just the teams they were playing too. It was like a circus.
Yeah. Well, I can imagine the second best player that we saw in that decade was probably Marcus Page, and that was it. Like Jordan Bohannon maybe, but I don't know. After Harrison, it was like that was it. Like the rest of the league, the rest of that decade was a little underwhelming. But then COVID comes around, and you got that Waukee team, and then right after them, you get Valley. So like, there's a lot of within the last 15, 16 years, like there's been a lot of fascinating Iowa high school basketball teams that, again, could you imagine if half of those kids went to Iowa State?
I know.
Lord have mercy. Shout out Kate Kelderman. You're a real one.
And then it was always Roy Williams, but before he was at North Carolina stealing kids, he was at Kansas stealing the same kids from Iowa. So it was really, I was the happiest person when Roy Williams retired. I was like, never let him in the state of Iowa again. Like, that guy.
He took your pride and joy, Kirk Heinrich.
Yeah. Get that.
Kirk Heinrich's a Hawkeye, and you know it. If he stays in come on. Look at him.
Nick Collison might have been a Cyclone. Kirk Heinrich.
Maybe. Kirk Heinrich. Another guy you missed out on was Corver. Corver oh my God, Corver at Iowa State would have fed families. That would have been amazing. Man, how did we get on this tangent?
I don't know. Yeah, we really went down a high school basketball tangent. I mean, the Big 12 slate, nothing else was super surprising. Arizona State lost to Colorado at home. That's a really bad loss for Arizona State if they want to be kind of a mid-tier team in the Big 12 this year. TCU and Baylor, that game was a little closer at the end than it was throughout. Najee, I don't think you're that guy. He had a triple single, 5 points, 4 rebounds, 4 fouls, and Scott Drew pulled him with like 4 minutes left. And so obviously
K-State kept it close against BYU. I was curious to see if that game was going to get close.
Texas Tech scored 1,000,000 points. Cincinnati.
We gotta do something about Christian Anderson.
He's a beast.
We gotta break his legs.
Him and JT Toppin are as good of a duo in the Big 12 as, I mean, I'd put them right there. Different players, obviously, but Milan and Joshua, and then Christian Anderson and JT Toppin. Those are the two best. If you're doing NBA Jam, Big 12, those are the two best duos for sure.
Yeah, I think Taman's gonna have his way though with a guy like Christian Anderson. He's good, but he's skinny.
Well, I wonder if two-way guards him. I mean, that's kind of what we've seen is like
whoever's guarding him, call God.
Yeah,
you're gonna need it.
Yeah,
like I don't care. Like that this backcourt is gonna cause a lot of issues for a lot of teams, and I'm excited. Like I've never been more and like wanting to play the top teams in the league more than I have this year. Like the past few years we had to play Houston, I was kind of dreading it, even though we beat them. Like it just wasn't like oh yeah, let's go. We get to play Houston today. It's like, no, look, where's Houston at? I'll play him right now.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, call Samson up right now. I'm like, it's that kind of energy because you feel this confident in this team. I'm really excited to start playing like the top of our conference. Got to get the mid-tier teams out the way first, but it seems like things are on the high road for sure.
I was talking to Jackson. I want to shout out Chris Williams and everybody else at Cyclone Fanatic. We had a little bit of a holiday outing Saturday night, but Jackson and I were talking about my guy, JoJo Tugler, in that Houston-Cincinnati game, saving the season. Look at that. That's the Big 12 National Player of the Year if I've ever seen one, Nigel. That guy right there.
Really?
Just the hustle, the grit.
Our group chat begs to differ, but go off.
I was getting torched. I was getting torched by just like my friends that listen to the podcast. I wasn't safe from anybody. But
I mean,
hey,
good.
I'm gonna dig my heels in. I'm standing. I'm keeping this take with me. I'm running with this the rest of the season.
That's crazy. But hey, man, it's your life. Have at it.
Cincinnati, Wes Miller, I think, is probably coaching for his job this season, and if they aren't above 500 in Big 12 play, he's probably getting fired. And you could just kind of smell the desperation. Houston's beat Cincinnati like 13 times in a row, going back to when they were in the American Conference. Like Houston has just, and those were like back in the American, especially before they joined the Big 12, those were the two premier brands in the American Athletic Conference. And Houston has just had their number for so damn long.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's getting to the point where I feel like Houston wouldn't even be like excited to play them. Like they're like, all right, it's like your little brother following you to a party, and it's like, got to play with you for a little bit. It's like you just kind of got to get them out the way and go to the big dogs after that. But
JoJo Tugler, 5 offensive rebounds, Nigel. That's 5 extra possessions.
Dylan, I'm not saying he's not a good role player. Like
8 timely points, 4 for 5, 80% from the field.
I'm not saying he's a bad role player. Like he's a great role player. Like arguably one of the best we've seen this season. I'm not denying that at all. But we're talking about the conference player of the year. Like that tends to go to the person just averaging the most points. Like because coaches are keeping it simple. And again, every coach gets in a meeting room. They're like, who gave us the most work? It ain't gonna be JoJo Tugler. Like, yeah, he killed us on the boards, but he didn't give us work. Like, you know what I mean? Like he wasn't, do his ass offense. It wasn't tween behind the back pull up. Like, no, it was just offensive board because I'm 6'9" and 300 pounds. Like I would hope you get the offensive board. You're huge. You're huge.
Just the last thing I want to say about Houston. Like that is my favorite game of the year is Houston, Iowa State. I probably want to beat Kansas more than I want to beat anybody, but just in terms of like the kind of college basketball I like, I think it was at Houston maybe 2 years ago. it was literally like hand-to-hand combat. It was the most physical, brutal game I've ever watched, and like 2 points felt like 8 points, and that's just like my kind of basketball.
No, for sure. And again, Houston's up there. They just rub me the wrong way. Like they play too much like us to be a fan of them. You know,
See, I think
like
it's the opposite.
that's like
I feel
Drake.
like
That's
I'm
like
watching us.
Soulja Boy, like in Drake. Like he took his whole flow, and then you want him to listen to champagne poetry? Like I don't think so. I don't want to listen to that now. I want to just like honestly, in the modern Big 12, favorite matchup is probably BYU. Like because their crowd brings it, but they've also I've watched their podcast. They give us our flowers too. They said Iowa State was one of the hardest places to play in all season, and like mind you, I think the guy they had on the pod that week was like a bench player. Like he didn't even play, and he was like they were giving it to us, and I'm like giving it to y'all. What? Y'all don't even do anything. What do you mean? What were they saying? What were we saying to those gentlemen? So I like to, outside of Houston, think there's a lot of other teams that can give us really solid rivalries. But BYU being one of them, and Arizona now becoming kind of 1-2 with the whole Caleb drama last year. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I hate all three of those teams, if I'm being honest with you. But team I like to kind of beat the most is BYU because it's like that's the loss I feel the worst about. Like Houston and Arizona always have NBA dudes, so you can kind of chalk it up to they had NBA dudes.
Right.
BYU, they got Mormons and AJ. That's it.
Yeah.
Like Richie might get a summer league contract. He might, Duncan Robinson his way into the league, but again, we're in different territory with how good BYU is considering the talent they have. Like they're a lot better than they should be in my opinion. So to be able to beat them is going to be a lot more fulfilling than a Houston because a Houston plays our brand of basketball. It's easy to kind of win a rock fight when you throw a rock back. You know what I mean?
I love rock fights though. I get what you're saying.
Have you ever been in a rock fight? Dylan, I don't think you have. It's hard for me to hear you say that and believe it.
The streets of Manning, Iowa, Nigel. You wouldn't last a second. Let me tell you. No.
I know.
The last thing I'm not going to say anything nice about BYU, and you can't pay me to do it. But the thing about like these new teams in the Big 12, I feel like they all kind of want to stake their claim, and those are three of the best teams in the Big 12 this year: is Houston, Arizona, and BYU. And the pride of like Iowa State being a Big 12 team forever. I really hope this is the year that Iowa State can be like, because the Big 12 was a really good. I mean, the mid 2010s in the Big 12 was nasty. So like
we considered like a founding father of the Big 8 and then Big 12?
I would say so. It's like the hateful eight. So it's like the teams that were left after Texas and Oklahoma left us. And I mean, like Baylor's relatively new. I mean, I think the oldest schools, it's like Iowa State, Oklahoma State, Kansas.
Where was
State.
Baylor at before?
What was that? Southwest Conference? They were with Texas schools.
Ew.
Yeah. But I think, am I forgetting anybody besides Iowa State, Kansas State, Oklahoma State? I probably am. Jackson, if I'm forgetting somebody, I apologize. Oklahoma's gone, dummy. They're in the SEC. Yeah.
That's crazy.
And then like Missouri, Nebraska, Colorado.
1994. I guess. I'm thinking like I think old Baylor to me is like John Lucas III. So I like when they had that big controversy back in the 2000s, someone got murdered. Yep. Like that's
Scott
the old
Drew
Baylor.
Got brought in. That's how Scott Drew like got his job.
Yeah, that's the Baylor I remember. So like I'm thinking like that can't be that long ago. But again, 1994 is we're working on 32 years ago now. So that's man, time flies. But that's crazy. No, yeah, so okay, the Hateful Eight. That's a great name. Like I love that movie. So for us to be a part of the Hateful Eight, it's fitting. Like and the way.
I like shout out to Brett Yormark. Again, I'm going to talk shit about all the new teams in the Big 12, but he saved our conference. Yeah, so that's not a lot of teams left.
We need Nebraska
even like
back.
In the 1980s, like when my dad was in college, I think like Oklahoma, Kansas, and Mizzou maybe all made the Final Four in the same year, 1 year. So like It was the Danny Manning year.
Ah.
So, like, they've been a solid basketball conference for literally forever. And shout out Nebraska. Dude, if you want kind of a secondary college basketball team, those dudes are lighting it up. That team is so fun to watch. And they play like a Hoy ball, like mid-2010s Iowa State team. I mean, they're just shooting threes, and they're wide open all the time. And had a big road win at Ohio State. Obviously got the home win against Michigan State. Nigel, what are your thoughts? I think Nebraska was ranked 13. Michigan State was ranked 11. Nebraska storms the court. Fair or foul?
Let them.
Yeah.
There's a difference between, again, like you said, even us at this point beating big teams. Like, we kind of have surpassed a point where, like, we don't need to do that every time. I mean, I think if you have a perfect regular season, as Iowa State fans, rush the damn floor. Like, it's senior night. There's not a better way to send out your seniors than to do that. Like, it's the actual last game of the season. It's senior night, and we had a perfect regular season. We went undefeated in out of conference play. We went undefeated in conference play. That would be the only scenario where I see us being, like, deserving of rushing the floor. Because, like, I look back at, like, the Monte Morris against Iowa buzzer beater, and it's like, that was a great game, but, like, why did we rush the floor? Like, it was like, you be happy as much as you want. You could tear up Welch Ave if you need to, but we don't need to rush the floor. Like, it seems like a bit much. But a team like Nebraska, who's kind of been through the ups and downs, especially in the Hoiberg era, they're finally reaping rewards of success. And again, this team's got a little swag to them, so I think it's only right for, their fans to kind of return the favor and, kind of show off their showmanship too. I do want to bring up something though. Speaking of Nebraska, they have a freshman guard,
Brandon Frager.
Yes,
Dog.
This kid hit a 3 in Jeremy Fears' face, and then did the Ja Morant. For context, Jeremy Fears was shot for real.
Oh my God!
At a high school party in Joliet, Illinois. Look it up. It's one thing to do that to anybody. In the NBA, most guys do it. It's a tech. If Ja Morant does it, it's a 3-game suspension. This kid went up to a kid who was really shot with a gun and hits him with the Memphis Grizzly. They're not even conscious right now. Like, they're playing a different brand of basketball. And honestly, by the looks of this kid, had that been me, Mouse at the Palace. That's what would have happened.
Technical foul, ejected.
There's blood on the floor. Nigel has part of his ear in his mouth. It's Mike Tyson all over again.
Ron Artest is a slip away from knocking a guy out cold.
But
O'Neal that almost punched the face off a guy. One of them came in.
No, Steven Jackson. It was Steven Jackson came in right after Ron. Dude, just imagine Ron Artest pause, but coming at you, and he lays one on you. Ow. And then Steven Jackson, he hit one guy, and then Steven Jackson goes to, the guy who was with the guy who got hit, was trying to pick him up, and Steven Jackson just comes in. Dog, I'm going to wake up and break up with you as a friend, because what did you just get us into? You just had to throw your beer at the craziest person in the league. I'm shocked Jeremy Fears didn't slap the kid, but again, flip the coin around. It was a pretty funny situation.
My favorite part about the Mouse and the Palace, I'm going to bring Jamal Tinsley up for the second time. I'm pretty sure it was Ron Artest in the locker room after the game. He was like, "Are we going to get in trouble for this?" It was before they got the cops called on them, and it was before the cops showed up. And
they started beating up civilians. That's a crime.
Jamal Tinsley was like, "We might not have a job tomorrow, Ron." He was like, "This is way worse than you think." Ron Artest just did not understand the moment. Jamal Tinsley was like, "This is the worst thing I've ever seen in a basketball game."
He's like, crazy. "Coach Floyd, I miss you.
Yeah,
I want to come back to Ames." The NBA's hard.
Oh man, those Pistons Pacers games, I would have loved that back in the day. That would have been my two favorite teams of that. I was just too young. I was 4 or 5 years old when the Mouse and the Palace happened. But
that's crazy,
man. Maybe once Tyrese comes back, that rivalry will because Cade and those guys are.
Yeah, they're best team in the East, arguably.
Yeah.
So hopefully, I would love to see Boozer playing with Tyrese.
That would be awesome. They're gonna get a really good draft pick. just the last thing about Baylor, kind of a preview. Before they scored, I think it was 63 points against TCU. Their last 4 games, they've scored over 100 points, one of the highest scoring offenses. But every time they've played a top 30 defense, I think right now we're the second best defense per Ken Palm. They've lost those games. So
Yeah.
they have a really dynamic offense. They have a lot of talent, but the 3 losses they have this year are all from top 30 Ken Palm defenses. It is in Waco. I think that is worth mentioning. That's not a super easy place to play. But I just think the sort of teams that Baylor has struggled against, they look like the Iowa State kind of a team. And we are the best version of that team right now, I would say, in the country.
Yeah. And let's not forget, again, I love bounce back opportunities for our guys. I don't know if you remember this, but Milan's game winner that didn't count.
Or just a half second late. Oh,
I don't know, man. Sounds like a good day to have 10, 11 threes. Just saying. Just saying.
Yeah.
Get them up. Get them up, Milan. That's a game plan. Milan, get them up. Everyone else, crash.
I was at Buffalo Wild Wings in Ames for that Iowa State Baylor game, and me and my best friend Danny were beside. I thought in real time, I thought he made it, and he was a freshman, and I was like, "Oh my god!" That is the craziest
he stamped. He stamped.
Yeah, I was running around Buffalo Wild like an idiot, and then just for it to get reviewed and taken off, that was a tough loss. That was kind of the Caleb Love before the Caleb Love of that.
Nothing. Do not compare anything to Caleb like that. No. I don't even have words for you.
The only difference, we were never going to win that game in overtime, but Caleb Love's shot did not win that game. Milan being a quarter of a second too late lost us that game.
I guess, but it's just what are the odds, man? If you're going to do that play over and over and 10 times, that happens one time.
Yeah, maybe.
But Caleb is not that dude. No. He's a third tier point guard for the Blazers, and they're not a playoff team. So I don't know. The fact that happened still pisses me off. I'll never get over it.
Yeah. What I'm saying is, bearing something unforeseeable, the Iowa State team we've seen so far should win in Waco. And if you want to win the Big 12 season for the first time in 26 years, you got to win these games. You got to win the tough ones on the road. You're maybe afforded a loss to at Arizona, at BYU. If you slip there, no one's going to fault you. But you got to win these kind of, I would even say Baylor, they're probably the 7th, 8th best team in the Big 12. But you got to win on the road. If you're serious about winning the Big 12 regular season title, this one's got to be a win.
Yeah. They seem like a one-man pony with Cameron Carr. So I think containing him will be all right.
Yep.
But that's going to be the key to the game.
Also, I'm going to boo James Najee just like TCU booed him every time he touched the ball. Get out of my sport. Go back to Barcelona, homie. You got drafted by an NBA team. What are you doing?
Be awesome if Hilton learned Spanish or
just started.
I don't know. Just started abusing the kid verbally in his native tongue.
I think Kobe, didn't he used to, because he was he grew up in Italy, he knew a bunch of languages. He would shit talk foreign players.
He shit talk Sasha Vujovic, his teammate, mind you, just but then it turned into something cool where they were able to communicate on the court, and then nobody guys Ron Artest and Shane Battier are these guys speaking Italian? What's going on? Jesus Christ, he's got 60. There's a whole lot going on. Coach is Battier, what happened? He's I don't know, man. He hit a fadeaway. He said something in Italian. I don't know. It just kind of all happened. Yeah.
It reminds me of the Clippers after they played Kevin Durant, and some guy was Kevin Durant gave him 40 something or 50, and Lou Williams was I promise we tried. He was
yeah.
We knew who Kevin Durant was. I promise we tried to stop him. We just couldn't.
Also, you're playing the Moonstars in that team. That 2019 team, I'm shocked they didn't win a ring. They had DeMarcus Cousins too, plus their core. Unreal time in the NBA. But excited for this Baylor game. Should get the dub. I'm excited. It's a bounce back. It's a bounce back win from not a few years ago now. But Milan, need a big performance out of you.
Yeah.
10 or 11 threes. Make it rain.
Revenge.
Jelly bean. Come on, baby. Let them cook.